Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Look here. Paul is in trouble. He's in trouble. He thinks that he's gotten away with this. And so does the stepdaughter. Right? So does the stepdaughter. See, on top of violating the mother's trust, now Paul lying, and he got the daughter lying. Got her lying. And the mama don't know why, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? To the extent that her daughter will lie to her, she's thinking, wait a minute, does he have more influence over her than I do? What she's concerned about is this. You know, she's not messed up with this man being in her life because she chose this man, but her problem is he's influencing her in the wrong direction. In the wrong direction. You feel what I'm saying? She got to be careful about that. And she's not playing about that. She's serious. So she goes to work. And when I tell you, look here, she can't even focus. She can't even focus because she's worrying about, you know what I'm saying, what is going on at the house. She's thinking, are they at the house smoking together? Is she going to be okay? Did he give it to her? Is he having her sell this stuff? Her mind is running wild. Her mind is running wild. And she can't focus. She can't focus. So she go to her supervisor. She go to her supervisor at lunch and she tell him, look, I need to leave early today. I got some family issues I need to attend to. And look, she gave him that look. You know how some women get, y'all know you get out there sometime when you're mad about something and you're sick of people playing with you and you in the business of the business, you got that look on your face. So he looked and he said, look, ma'am, look, take care of whatever you need to take care of. I'll see you tomorrow. And she said, thank you. And then she left. Let me take me a sip of this soda real quick, y'all. My throat getting dry. I don't want to have to start coughing on y'all again, okay? Just give me a sec. Okay, that'll do it. So then, on her way home, she's trying to figure out how she's going to approach this. Does she need to be passive about it? You know what I'm saying? And just let them figure out that she knows what's going on because she don't come home early. She don't come home from lunch. She takes her lunch with her. She eats in the break room with all the other people that she works with. And then when she comes home, she's at home. She's finna come home early. Now, keep in mind, her daughter's at school. And she told the principal and the SRO, don't say nothing to her about her coming down there. So she don't even know. She don't even know she been busted. And they're not going to tell her. They're not going to tell her. Okay? So now she's pulling up into the driveway. Paul, he look out the window to see who it is. He see her. And now he's panicking. He's like, wait a minute. What's she doing home early? You know, it ain't like he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He been out looking for some jobs and now he was back home chilling, you know what I'm saying, looking at TV and reading the newspaper and stuff like that. So he wasn't worried about it like that. He wasn't cheating on her or nothing like that. But he said this is not like her to come home early. It's just not. It's just not. So when she gets to the house, she opens the door. He's standing right there. He reaches out to hug her. And you know how women do. He went in for the kiss. She turned her head to the side and he kissed on the jaw. He said, oh, what's going on? Because she'd never done him like that. He ain't never seen this side of her. They've never had an issue. You understand? He's always been able to sweet talk her and all this and that, right? Even when he was locked up. So he tries it. He says, everything straight? She said, you tell me. You tell me. She said, I'm going to give you one chance and one chance only to tell me the truth about what's going on with you and my daughter. Right? And she said, I'm not finna play them games with you. And she said, now, on top of that, I'm going to let you know that I know what happened. But I need you to tell me. See, now he goes into penitentiary mode. Is she bluffing? Because if she's bluffing, he don't want to tell her. He don't want to tell on himself what's really going on. Because if he tells her and she's bluffing, then he going to have to go through some anguish. If he tells her, if he don't tell her and she know, he probably finna get put out. So he's weighing it up. And he's thinking. And she's standing there with her arms crossed up, you know what I'm saying, looking at him. You know how women do. Looking at him all crazy like, don't play with me. Don't play with me. And he's trying to figure out which way to go. And she says, look, I don't play about my daughter. And I don't play about you. But I need you to tell me the truth right now. Be honest with me and tell me what happened. I already know. Now, in a situation like that, what would most men do? What would most men do? Well, I'm going to tell you what Paul did. This is what Paul did. Paul broke down and came clean. He told her that he was at the house and he got a call from the principal to come down to the school and pick her up because she had gotten caught, her and two other girls, in the restroom with some weed. And they wanted to know where it came from. And he looked at her and she looked at him and they looked at each other and she said, where did it come from? And he looked at her and then he turned his back and he walked away a couple of steps and then he turned back around and she said, don't play. Don't play. She said, you can get your stuff and walk right up out of here now if you tell me a lie. He said, it was mine. So she looked at him, she said, how did she get it? How did she get it? He looked at her and he paused and he really don't want to say because he know he's digging a hole and he probably, you know what I'm saying, just he's thinking right now that he gonna get put out anyway, so why just tell all of it, right? But he loved her. He loved her. And he didn't want to lose her. So he had to be honest. He had to be honest. He said, look, you know, I told you that, you know, I wouldn't have it in the house, but I did. And she said, where? And he took her to the restroom and he showed her behind the toilet, taped to the back of the toilet, just like he was in the penitentiary. And she looked back at, she said, how long has it been back there? She said, the whole time. He looked at her, he's like, yeah. So you've been lying to me this whole time? And he said, yeah, I've been lying to you. She put her head in her hands and was crying. She said, I told you don't lie to me. You didn't have to lie to me. She said, that's something that's hard to recover from. You lying to me, I can't trust you now. And she said, and you done pulled my daughter into this. So she found it. How did you not know that she had found it? He said, I wasn't paying attention. How you not paying attention and you selling drugs and you got these drugs in my house? What if the police would have caught you and came in here and I wouldn't have told them that they couldn't have searched the house and they got a warrant and found these drugs in here? What do you think would have happened to me? I would have got kicked out and me and her would have been homeless on the streets while you'd have been in jail. Or they would put me in jail too and she would be in foster care. She hitting it, but I'm talking about left, right, left, right. She hitting it with all the things that could have happened by him not thinking. Now he's standing there looking silly. She's standing there, she's looking at him. She said, I don't know what to do with you. So he immediately begged her to please forgive him. She said, this is bigger than you. She says, it's bigger than me forgiving you. She said, you got my own daughter lying to me. Did you tell her to lie to me? He said, no. She the one said it. So you telling me that my daughter suggested that you lie to me and you went along with it. You the adult. He couldn't say nothing again. He's speechless. He's looking at her. She said, why are you here? Why are you here? If you're not helping, you hurting. She said, I thought you were different. And he looked at her, he said, I am. She said, no, you're not. You're not any different. You're just like all the rest of them at that prison down there, they lie. She said, you think you're the only person that has been in a bad situation. You're not. You're not. She said, that's why it took me a long time to open up to you. Because I didn't know if I could trust you. I didn't know if I could trust you with my daughter. And now I see that I can't. I can't trust you. So he's standing there. He don't know what to say. Because she got him dead to rights. Got him dead to rights. She said, if you were going to do this, why didn't you tell me so I could decide if that's what I wanted in my life? You didn't give me a choice in this. You came out here like you were going to try, and you went and you applied for all these jobs and nobody would hire you. And then you talked me into letting you do this. And then when I agreed to let you do it because I love you, you still lied to me. So I feel like you manipulated me from the get-go. You tricked me. And now my own daughter thinks it's okay to lie to me. She's at that school right now thinking that she got away with something. Laughing at me. Laughing. And he looks at her, he says, what can I do? How can I make this right? She said, when my daughter gets home, you set her down and you tell her that you're wrong. And you tell her that she needs to be honest with me, that you and her both need to be honest with me about what's happening. She said, I'm going to leave because she don't know I'm here. She don't know I'm here. And when I come back, it's going to be like I just come home from work. And you better be ready. And you better sit down with her and get it straight. Because when I walk through that door, if I don't hear the truth, you're going to be walking out that door. And that's going to be the end of us. That's the only way you can make this right. Do you hear me? And he looked at her and he tried to walk towards her and hugged her. And she was like, nah, none of that until you fix this. She grabbed her purse, walked out, got in the car, and drove off. Now, it was at least another hour before their daughter got home. And when the bus pulled up, and she got off the bus, she's laughing. You know how kids get off the bus, they laughing and saying bye to their friends, and then she run up the little driveway and run on the, go up the steps of the apartment complex, and she gets into the apartment, and he's sitting at the kitchen table, and when she walks in, she said, hey, how you doing, Paul? This and that. All happy. She just come from school. And he says, you need to sit down for a minute. And she sits down at the table. She's still laughing. And she said, what's going on? Is everything okay? And he was like, we need to tell your mama what happened. And she said, no, I thought we agreed not to say anything about it. He looked at her. He said, we got to do this right. We got to make this right. I don't want to lie to your mama, and I don't want you thinking that I believe that it's okay for you to lie to your mama. He said, you'll never respect me if I do that. And I don't want you looking at me like I'm not somebody that you can trust and somebody that you can depend on. And that she's sitting there like, imagine 11, 12 years old. She's sitting there, she's looking at him, and in her mind, she's thinking, I'm finna get a whooping. So she's not hearing what he's saying. She's thinking about what's going to happen to her if she tells her mama, if they tell her mama the whole story. So she's like, no, you can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. If you do that, I'm telling mama you gave it to me. And he said, you can tell your mama whatever you want to tell her. But I'm telling her when she comes home. And you need to do the same thing. So she gets up, mad, storms off into her room, slams the door. Now he's sitting there at the kitchen table, and the weight of what he had done, the weight of how he had went along with this story and let this girl lie and pretend that nothing had happened. is weighing on him now. The responsibility of being a parent is real now to him. He understands that this is not something to play with, because if she thinks it's okay to lie in this situation, she'll think it's okay to lie in others. Right? You follow me? So she's in the room, and he can hear her in there crying, and he wants to console her. He knocks on the door and he tells her, look, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to talk to her when she gets here. You're going to be okay. And she's like, get away from my door. I hate you. Mama's going to whoop me. And he said, no, she's not. No, she's not going to whoop you. She said, you don't know that. You're not my daddy. You can't stop her from whooping me. She's saying all of the things to hurt him because she wants him to back off of telling the truth. And he's standing firm. Not because he could potentially be put out. Because it's dawning on him the realities of being involved in a child's life. When you're involved in a child's life, it's not about you anymore. It's not about you. It's about the child. And what's best for the child. What is truly best for the child. And he's getting it now. And he understood everything his girl had told him. So he hears the car pulling up. And he looks out the window over the balcony, right? And he sees her. She gets out the car. She got the look on her face. She's all business. All business. And he knows that he better come right. So she comes up the steps. Comes into the house. And she looks at him. She don't even say nothing. He says, baby, I need to talk to you. So he calls his daughter into the room. She comes into the room and she said, what's going on? And Paul says, we need to talk to you. She said, talk. She's looking at both of them, suspicious-eyed. And right then and there, her daughter realized that she knew. She already knew. And if you want to know, tune in to the next episode. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.